A young man who's done very well. His story out of Central Falls to Harvard tonight. Welcome in. Good Friday evening. Thank God it's Friday. The Dan York State of Mind is up and running. Yes, we have a young man who has got, 4.4 something GPA and is blowing the doors off academically at Central Falls High School. We always like to champion the young people who have done good, and so we'll meet him this evening. In the meantime, let's go to the rundown and get to the things that we want him, and they're all on my state of mind. I think the Democrats are playing with fire here. I really do. This came down today. The consultants say, let's pay, meaning 38 studios, and I got some thoughts on that. I don't think it's as easy as they think it is. Kurt Schilling's not coming to oversight hearings for a specific reason, but truth is, nobody else is either. Speaks for itself. Two examples. The Bruins right back in the ball game with an upset kind of overtime-ish type of event last night, and this one is terrific. Just terrific for a local guy, good buddy of mine, who's also done good and is overdue for that terrific professional upward moment. Let's go to the videotape in a moment. Let's go to the rundown in depth right now. Democrats, no show. Okay, now we're playing a little bit of Clint Eastwood type of stuff here when it comes to the Benghazi hearings. Of course, you know, the Republicans have a select committee idea. We got a headline on that, right? That's what they're doing, and this is all because we got these new emails, right? And they think it changes the entire complexion of investigating what happened there. Well, Nancy Pelosi, the former speaker and now minority leader for the Democrats, is huffing and puffing about this whole thing.
Our caucus is clearly among those who say don't have anything to do with it. It's a kangaroo court, has been identified as such. Don't dignify what they are doing. Others who say just send one person so we can see what they're doing to the witnesses and have access to that testimony. And the third option is let's see what they come back with in terms of the terms of engagement. The fact is this is a stunt. This is a political stunt. And the fact that, ISA just is damaged goods. They had to move from him to another venue with another chairman. That's what this is. We've been there, done this over and over again.
All right. Well, Nancy Pelosi ought to be, stunts and, the status of one as damaged goods. Well, I guess we can talk about that ad infinitum. Here's the thing. If the Democrats don't show at all for these hearings, they're going to lose control of these hearings. They're not in control anyway. That's the way Congress works. The ruling party, the majority party, runs the rules, and that's the case in the House. They send one or two players up there, it's going to be ridiculously imbalanced. They ought to just negotiate the best deal on terms for this process as they can, show up 5 and 4, 7 and 5, and get down with it. Because you know what? The only way you can check the political stunt is by being in the middle of it. You know, sometimes even in politics, you keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That's not the formula when you say, I'm taking my ball and bat and going home. Let's remember, 4 lives were lost here, and no matter what kind of a circus they want to play down there, you can't charge politics and then boycott, because boycott is politics. Madam former Speaker. Next. Okay. All right. This came down today. This is kind of interesting. Eyewitness News has a little bit of a roundup on what the House Oversight Committee on 38 Studios was doing last night.
Rhode Island owes $89 million to investors in the failed 38 Studios deal. But does the state have an obligation to pay it? Thursday, the House Oversight Committee heard testimony from a handful of speakers with that question in mind.
It's much more of a question of, is it going to be cheaper to pay it or not?
The executive director of the business-backed Rhode Island Expenditure Council research group says it's an easy question to answer.
This should be a very simple question to ask, is an answer that this will cost us more than it would save us.
John Simmons, who was invited to testify, says if the state doesn't pay up and defaults on the bonds, the current AA rating will drop.
All right, you know what? That's a thought that has actually been doubled down on or second the motion, Don, whatever, today because a press release came out. Here's a copy of it right here. This is from the governor. SJ Advisors report non-payment of 38 studios moral obligation would likely reduce Rhode Island bond rating to junk status. You may have seen Tim White and me speaking, Tim White and I speaking about this last night. Proper grammar is important to me. We were talking about this $75,000 that the state is paying, the governor is paying on our behalf to get a report on what ought to be done with the 38 studios payments. Remember, we paid $2.5 million against a boatload of debt, but it's $12 million, $12 million, $12 million, $12 million every year, and every year there's got to be an appropriation decision. This particular recommendation is like a consultant taking your watch off and telling you what time it is. Did you think this consultant for $75,000 was going to come up with another answer to the Chafee administration, which has been saying we got to pay it all the way along? Yeah, you know what we need? What we need, the solution here is for reps and senators to roll up their sleeves, go down to New York themselves, and ask questions themselves and get comfortable themselves with what being said out of the financial institutions and the markets and Standard & Poor's and Moody's and all of that. Don't believe everything you read out of a paid consultant is my point. And as a continuation of the 38 Studios conversation, it looks like Curt Schilling's not coming. He has been asked to come to the House Oversight Committee, headed by Karen McBeth, who you saw in that last Eyewitness News piece. What do we have here? Well, we just have a little picture of Curt Schilling. You know who he is. My God, there's a headline here. He won't testify. He's pointing to, via his lawyer, that he's ill. And it's been announced that he's battling cancer, and we wish him the best of luck with that, obviously, but that is preventing him from responding to this request. Well, whatever happens to be the excuse, all of the letters of request from the House Oversight Committee, by my count, have been either ignored or a no answer has come back, which will now, in the next couple of weeks, I would think, put Karen McBeth, the House Oversight Chairman, and the Speaker of the House into that position of deciding whether or not to issue subpoenas. Nick Mattiello, the Speaker of the House, is the only one who can do that. McBeth is absolutely confident that he'll stand by her and issue those subpoenas. The subpoenas may result in people taking the fifth, but it takes it to another level. So far, they're over when it comes to, could you come talk to us about what happened with our taxpayer money, $75 million plus interest? All right, moving along. God's winning. God is on a little bit of a tear here. No, I'm not blasphemous. I'm with God on this. Here's the headline out of Boston, the Globe. Under God we remain in the pledge. This was a decision today by the Supreme Court, and the Chief Justice of that court said the following. Reciting the pledge is a voluntary patriotic exercise, but it's not a litmus test for defining who is or who is not patriotic. The schools confer no privilege or advantage of patriotism to those who recite the pledge in its entirety. All right, God can be in the pledge. If the kid doesn't want to say the pledge, he doesn't have to say the pledge, period. Okay? That's 2 wins in a row. Last week, ruling, Supreme Court, Washington, 5-4, that a municipal meeting can start with a prayer. Atheists, 0 for 2 in the last 2 weeks. God bless you. Next item. Whoa! I was with my buddy at the tavern watching this, thinking, oh man, this is going to be a long night. And lo and behold, headline, sudden impact from a guy who just got called up. This Matt Frazier from the Bruins. Don't you like it when the hometown guy does it? Here's the play. We got the play right here. Steve's rolling the play. Here we go. What a cheapy goal too. But a good stick on the ice. Boom, cut. I didn't even know why he was so excited. I didn't see the puck go in, but the referee did. So did the guy behind with the light thing there. It's 2-2, and the Bruins are back in it. Predictions of Montreal's Stanley Cup are entirely premature. And finally, in the sports world, this is a kind of a big deal. Rick Loss is main gain. Yes, Bob Walsh, head coach of the Rhode Island College Anchormen for 8 seasons. I believe, 8, 9 years? 8 straight NCAA tournaments, numerous Little East Conference championships, and the like. Former head coach at Providence College, formerly at Iona as well. Did I say head coach? Former assistant coach at Providence College. We're trying to get into that Division I scene finally, and he finally got to Maine. It's a long ride up there to Orono, but well worth it. He was introduced to the press and the campus community this afternoon.
I'm thrilled and I'm honored to be here. I can't thank Dr. Ferguson and Carlton and Seth and everybody involved enough. You know, we've gotten started already, and I'm looking forward to really developing a championship culture for UMaine men's basketball, because that's where it's going to start. So I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you.
Very nice. The only thing that bothers me about this is that the son of a gun got me into a Tuesday morning 6:30 tea time golf league partner. Good thing I got a third guy in case one of us can't make it. But we don't need him because the third guy and I won handily this week. So there you go, Walsh. Enjoy your cold golf up in northern Maine. We'll think about you on the tee. I'm actually very happy for my friend. This is a major accomplishment, and I think he's off and running, and so is the University of Maine. Rick will have big shoes to fill, but they'll be okay. All right, when do we come back? This is a nice story. A young man who's going to Harvard, speaking of institutions of higher education. Doesn't get much higher than that. Stay with us.
My parents didn't really have a lot, like economically. Like, we're not from means, but they've always taught me to work hard. They taught me the value of an education, and they really motivated me to sort of try my best.
Everyone is excited. Everyone is really happy for him because we've seen the work that he's put in. And so his teachers are really happy and proud of him. His classmates have been really supportive, very happy and cheering him on.
Your assistant superintendent in Central Falls, who actually brought our guest to the studio, they're very happy in Central Falls that there's a Harvard student en route. Here's the headline that got our attention: from hard luck to the Ivy League. And Jean-Paul is with us this evening. Congratulations, young man.
Thank you.
That's good stuff. 4 point what? 4 point what?
4.46-ish.
It's funny, you know, the 2.6 kid doesn't know what the details are on that GPA, but the 4.0s know exactly where they are. 4.4675321.
Yeah.
That's a lot of A's, man. No B's, I'm guessing, in
No.
an entire high school career.
Never.
You say that with
Absolute certainty.
absolute certainty and with a little bit of attitude, winning attitude. Good for you.
Thank you.
So let's tell the story. You are, I want to talk about Central Falls as a school district a little bit later on because it gets a bad rap, and I think it really is on a comeback in a lot of many ways. But once upon a time, you decided that you wanted to be a heck of a student, or tell me about how you've made to a 4.46 and change en route to Harvard.
I've always been kind of a nerd. I love reading, I love learning, and that just lent itself naturally to it. I'm just really interested in education. You know, I love coming to class every day. So I think that just lent itself naturally to it. There's like no secret. I just love doing it. I guess that's my secret.
Reading early on.
Mm-hmm.
Early on in your life?
Yes.
Parents' influence?
Yeah, my mother read to me in Spanish, and then I eventually taught myself to read in English.
I read your parents are Colombian. They speak no English?
None.
Do you? So that's interesting. But you know, reading is fundamental, whether it's English or Spanish or whatever. So you had a lot of influence to read, and then you started just to pick it up on your own. And it seems to me the kids who read early are the ones that have this tremendous, insatiable appetite for more reading. Reading begets reading, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Tell me about that. How much did you read as a younger person? When did you start doing a lot of reading?
At a young age. I was like 5. I like brought like pop-up books everywhere. I had like a stack. I was like known for that. And I never stopped.
Summer reading, constant, all that kind of thing?
Definitely. Whenever I could.
So how do you deal with this kind of commitment educationally, right? In the midst of what can be, I don't care if it's Central Falls or the best high school in America, it can be a little bit of social tests, right? To be such an academically concerned young person. Yes? Has it been comfortable for you?
It's put me under pressure sometimes, but just got to get used to it.
What kind of pressure?
I I don't know, like personal pressure.
You get your chops busted for being so studious, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And not only that, sometimes I, might not live up to my own expectations. I really try to set myself to a high standard. I try to be self-driven. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, and then everybody sort of expects things out of me. So.
Sure. So you set the bar high,
Mm-hmm.
and once you set the bar high, everyone thinks that you're going to make it all the time. Seemed to me you did. A after A after A after A after A. Is there any subject that you're weak on? You had to really work hard?
I think STEM is a little bit harder for me than other subjects. Like I love English and
STEM. What's STEM?
science, technology, engineering, math.
Oh, you're just going to throw the little vernacular at me there. That's all. STEM's a little hard. I mean, I don't know the acronyms and the modern. I had MIA in high school, Modern Introductory Analysis. Did you have that? Do you know what that is?
No.
That's pre-calc. See, we're 1 for 1. But STEM was hard.
Yeah, STEM was a bit harder for me than other subjects, but I just had to try a bit harder. My sort of forte is kind of the humanities, English, social studies. So that's a bit harder for me, but I just push through it. I have to try harder.
All right. So when we come back, we're going to talk about Central Falls as a place to learn and the upside of the district. Everyone's curious. What are you going to major in at Harvard?
I'm really undecided right now. It's probably going to be humanities, social studies, but I'm not really sure.
Let's get there and figure it out, right? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. All right, when we come back, we'll talk about more. By the way, it wasn't just Harvard. There were more that said, "Can you come?" Stay with us.
If you just work hard, you put your all into it, then things are going to work out. They're going to fall into place. Nothing else matters, just what you put into it. And if you do what you're supposed to do, then good things will come out of that.
Yeah, it's a good philosophy, and you have, John Paul, you have an amazing maturity about you at the age of what, 17, 18, 17? Harvard, congratulations. He's going to Harvard. He goes to Central Falls High School. He's going to Harvard. So a lot of you are out there going, Central Falls has got nothing going on. Hello, we'll talk about that in a second. But you're also accepted Ivy Moore, right? Who else said yes, they want you to come?
Yale, Dartmouth, Brown, and Columbia.
Did you apply to? Was there a school that you didn't apply to in the Ivy League, or were you like 5 for 5? Everybody wanted you to come.
I was 5 for 5.
Attaboy. Way to go. It's a tremendous thing when you get accepted to college, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And never mind the kind of institutions that you're talking about here. So congratulations. Why Harvard versus the others?
I visited campus, and it just seemed like, everybody wanted to help each other succeed. Everybody was so talented and just amazing. Like, for example, like my campus visit, I didn't realize I was, sitting next to somebody who was researching cancer. And on my other side was somebody who figure skated in the U.S. National Championships in Boston. So it was like mind-blowing how talented these kids are, and that's the kind of people that I want to be surrounded by.
Good. The company you keep's got a lot of reflection on you. So speaking of the company that keep, you come from Central Falls. Mm-hmm. You're the Central Falls school system. It gets a lot of bad rap in a lot of ways. I think it's made a comeback. We've talked about that before. But you tell me, what did Central Falls do for you? What did the system do for you?
It really pushed me to achieve what I achieved, and it really believed in me. I think that was the most important thing. Like, for example, sometimes I'd go like outside of state or something, to like even family, distant family, for example, like cousins or whatever, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I want to go to Harvard, and they're like, oh yeah, good luck with that, sort of condescending. Yeah. But my teachers were like, okay, yeah, that, I believe that you can do it. Here's what you should do. Or why don't you do this? I think this would be great for you. Or, they tried to push me and really encouraged me to go for what I wanted to go for.
And I'm guessing the curriculum at Central Falls, if you work hard, The teacher acumen is as high level at any other school in the state. There's no deficiency in going to Central Falls. There's social challenges and cultural challenges that the district has, but if you want to do the work, you can get as much work done as you need to at Central Falls, correct?
Exactly. There are still some things that we're working on, but you know, it's a work in progress. It's going amazingly well. Our graduation rates can speak to that and all the other statistics, but it's a great place, and it's made me who I am.
All right, so we only have a couple of seconds here. Give me a message of, what's your message to young kids that have a dream, want to achieve?
Just work for it, and it's yours.
And it's as simple as that?
I believe so, yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Harvard student. Has it sunk in?
Not completely. It's still amazing.
The first day you're walking around with the books, you know, a little H on your shirt or whatever, it'll settle in. Good work, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. When we come back, your state of mind. Stay with us. Your state of mind, this is how you get in touch with us. How about that young man going to Harvard? Pretty good, huh? Amazing. I just love it when we have great stories about young people. If you've got one, call us or email us or tweet at us and tell us about it. And we'll get it going. 228-1886, voicemail or email. We've got a couple of, I think, written correspondence here, an email from Patrick. The year-round residents are under siege during the URI sessions every year. When is it going to stop? Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Listen, I don't want to or de-emphasize what's going on in those neighborhoods in Narragansett, but for crying out loud, it's going to take some forward thinking, identifying holidays, and some police presence. Here's this one. Because Rhode Islanders are saying we don't want to pay for it all over social media, put a poll out to see who wants to pay 38 studios. You know what? I don't have a good feel for that, but we'll have plenty of time next week to get more info. I got to go. See you Monday, 7:30 on MyRI TV. Good weekend.